Hey there, BookTube. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to tell you about my experience doing Diverse-A-Thon 2017. Is the first couple of hours of the Diverse-A-Thon. My first read is this novel called Unburnable by Marie-Elena John. She's an Antiguan writer. This book takes place in Dominica. I just started reading it. I've been reading now for about an hour. I'm not getting far, so I'm gonna go to bed and I will pick it up in the morning. I have a early morning prayer breakfast meeting.
Transfer is available to the 4 and 5 train.
What I'm also going to ask.
Three, rock back.
Okay, stay right there. We're gonna get up.
For me, for us, to move forward without getting all the information.
I'm at page 72, and right now she's talking about a subject that I have talked about myself, thought about extensively, to compare the lives of women at different points and times in West Indian society. This book, of course, is a novel, it's fiction, but first generation is Matilda, the goddess character, the priestess character. She has a child named Iris. Iris is taken from her and goes to live in a community where she can go to school because of the influence of the church in the village. And so Iris, growing up, will have a very different interaction with society than her mother did, just because she has been taken away from her mother's tutelage and now she is learning about life from other people. So she's being forced to become the diverse character, taking all of these different influences and melding them into one character herself. Iris goes on to have children later. We don't know yet how the bridge happens, who she has a child with, but does she marry someone from her community? So does she go back to her mother's home and have a child with maybe someone who is less educated, and so kind of start the process over? Or what does she teach her? Does she teach her the ways of her mother? Does she teach her the ways of this new house, this new home that she has found in the town? And now that her daughter lives in another country, what about her life propelled her child to go to another place to live? The reason I'm so interested in this story is because it is my story. I'm Lillian. Lillian has left home and is living in New York. Her mother had her, obvious. She doesn't have any children. My mother lives in the place where I was born. It's in St. Elizabeth in Jamaica. She's married, has 2 children, me and my brother. And she went away to go to school. She returned home, had a family, had children. She didn't marry a guy from the village. She married my dad, who is similarly educated, an intelligent man, and brought him back home with her. Where's the disconnect between the choices that Lillian is making for her life and the life that she has learned from her mother? I don't have the answers. This is something that I have thought about extensively for myself in my own life. It is something that I explore in my writings. It is something that I will continue to explore until I come to a resolution or make a change in my life. Why do I do the things that I do? I don't always know. I don't always know the history that I am either running towards or running away from. I don't always know the psychological impact of the lives that I saw being lived around me. What has prompted me to make the decisions that I make? I'm on page 121 of this book, and I just read a chilling scene The woman has just found out about her daughter's husband's concubine. As long as she doesn't do anything to disgrace the wife or her family, they're okay, kind of, with her existence in his life. But this woman, this concubine, she's now overstepped the boundary of tolerance. She's done something to disgrace the woman publicly. And so the mother is out for vengeance. They beat her. But they don't just beat her, they mutilate her. And reading about it was very chilling because I just remembered something that I'd forgotten completely. There's a man in our community, a very prominent businessman, who he had a common law wife for many years, a woman who lived with him and had children with him, but he had several other women in his life, and one of those women who everybody knew that he had relationships with also, she had done something, I can't remember now what it was. She had done something to confront this woman who was his common law wife, and it became a really big deal. This conflict, this confrontation, and this was a woman in her like 40s at the time. Her children were kids that I had gone to school with, and to have this big confrontation, this big embarrassment happen to her, I remember just how awful it was to hear about. And that is when this situation gets real. The character that we are following is the mistress. She is the kept woman. She's the one that we're kind of getting to know her story, why she is the way she is, how she came to be here. And you kind of want to sympathize with her, but you then have to think about, what about this man's wife? What has she done to deserve this? And it's just the juxtaposition of the different characters, the complexity of the situation, the morals, the ethics of the situation. Who do you side with? Who do you sympathize with? How do I feel about this violence that is done to this woman as a result? Is she a victim? Is she deserving of it? Is she one of those people who you say, well, she got what she deserved, she had this coming? I'm enjoying the complexity of my feelings. It's almost midnight. It's time for me to go to bed, but I kind of want to stay up and finish reading this book. My class for tomorrow got canceled, so I don't have to get up as early, even though I was planning to wake up really early and go running. So now I can stay up late, I can finish the book, and I could go running later in the day. Even though the temperature is not that low, it feels low. So I am heading out for a short run, my first run of the season. I am not planning to go very far. 1 mile. 1 mile is all that I plan to do today. I do 1.3 miles. I did some jumping jacks in the park. I feel like I'm ready to tackle the rest of the day. I'm gonna read, and I also want to do some writing. So that's the plan for the rest of the day. Unburnable by Marie-Elena John. We're at the point in the story where the woman Lillian, she's ready now to confront her past. She's found out about her mother and her stepmother and her father. One of the things that I'm really enjoying about this story is how female-centric, female-driven it is. The man in the story is Teddy, Lillian's friend, who she's known for a really long time, and he's been a good supporter. So he's there in the background of this reunion, but not really a participant so much, because at least not yet. One thing I'm really scared about is I don't want a situation where he's the one who solves her problems. I want him to be there in the supportive role, but one of the themes so far in this book has been about these strong women, and I am a little hesitant, really nervous that the author is going to switch on me and give me a situation where, even though these women have helped themselves so far, that now they're going to have to rely on a man to solve their problems for them. That is the thing. If there's anything that scares me about how the book is going to end, it is that. I'll be able to tell you whether it's a thumbs up, woman saving herself, or for me, thumbs down, a man having to come in to rescue these damsels in distress. Right now, that's the only thing that would change my rating from, say, a 4.5 to 5-star rating, all the way down to like a 3. I finally finished the book. It took me until Tuesday morning. There were moments in this book that were 5-star moments for me. And in the last 50 pages or so, started going down. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to take some points off for this. I don't like this. And at the end of the book, I'm giving it 4 stars, not because I want to. At this point, I really want to go down to like a 3.5, 3. But I'm paying homage to everything that the book was up until the end. I hated how it ended. I hate how this book ends. Unfortunately, this book is no longer a 5-star read for me. I just want to move on to the next book. It is Diverse-A-Thon. It is a readathon. I want to read as many books as I can this week. So, beginning of day 3, I am finished with 1 book and I am ready to choose another. I have so many books to choose from. Day 3 of Diverse-A-Thon has started and I am excited to see where it brings me next. I'm here today because Marie-Elena John, he went to City College. This is also my alma mater. And I just thought it would be fitting to come back here and bring her book full circle. So across the street is the North Academic Center. This is where Miss John probably would have gone. This is where the humanities are taught. On this side is our science building, which is where I spent a lot of my time. This is Robert Marsh Science Building. That is our crest. And this is our castle. That's Shepherd Hall and our Arc de Triomphe. I spent a lot of my time in that building and pretty much all of here. I worked in that building when I was a student. That's it, 138th and Convent, City College. I read that she was the valedictorian when she graduated, and right where I'm standing is where she would have stood to receive her degree proudly. So I'm thrilled that she is the first novelist that I read for Diverse-A-Thon and that we have a lot in common. I just thought about how exciting it would be if in a few years someone reads one of my stories and decides to come back to my school to honor me as one of their favorite writers as well. So it's day 3 of Diverse-A-Thon, well, night 3, it's Tuesday, and it's about 11 o'clock at night. I just got home from having dinner with my friend from high school, and when I was in college, he was my best friend. But we don't see each other very often, and we had a rare hangout tonight, so I'm just home. I'm gonna start reading this book, Sula. Well, I just started reading it on my way home. I do want to read something that doesn't have just African American characters. I would like to really get to Ozeki's book about the Japanese tsunami. I'd like to get to that before the end of the week, but I really want to read this because this is also for another challenge. So that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching my vlog of Diverse-A-Thon day 1, 2, and 3. I look forward to sharing more with you, so I hope you come on back, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you later. Bye!